right. Well, it's Brett Allen here once again talking to Chicago PD. All is well in the world. You guys are back again. Benjamin Aguilar. It's good to see you, man. Once again, thank you for coming back and thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's exciting. We went a really long time without any episodes,
Yeah.
and now we're back with a lot of episodes. I've been binging One Chicago like crazy, getting ready for all these interviews. But your
Yeah.
character, Torres has been a miss. He's been on furlough, taking care of his mom in the story. And now tonight you are back with another formidable storyline. How exciting does it feel to be back to work again?
Oh, it's so exciting. It's crazy. It's been a year since last season and the strike that happened and everything. So I feel like a completely different person, with a year in and yeah, I'm really, really excited to be back and especially to be back in such a strong way with this episode.
Yes, yeah. I mean, last couple episodes, the unit has been discussing needing you. You've been amiss and haven't been around. And
Yeah.
now you're back with another big episode, as I mentioned. Well, it's
Mhm.
a heavy one tonight that
Yeah.
you are taking on the storyline. You go undercover. Don't want to give too much away, but this is pretty common knowledge. Go undercover against Voight's best wishes. One thing leads to another. So I want to talk about this. I've spoken to your other castmates before that you work with. And one of the interesting things I learned is that these shows and these episodes don't always necessarily get filmed in sequence, right? Like 1 minute it's dramatic, like Patty and Marina, it's like they're in love, they hate each other, and they have to switch all these emotions around. For
Yeah.
you, when you're in these intense scenes, whether it's with your co-stars or guest stars, how do you kind of vacillate back and forth between the emotions when you have to film intense scenes one day and then maybe not so intense scenes the next?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can only speak for me in my own process, and it evolves as I grow as an actor. Um, what I've been doing now is as long as I come back to neutral in between any even take, because that take can be different than another take, right? So like as long as I finish living one moment in on camera, and then I sit down and I close my eyes and I'm kind of dead to the world and I meditate. That's all I do on set. I just like if you ask anyone, I'm just sitting there, no phone, no book, no writing, no eating, zero. I'm just dead to the world and I'm just sitting, and that allows me to kind of like come back to neutral. And then next take, I'm that way I can feel like I'm fresh again and find different intricacies in moments that could seem repetitive if you just continue shooting them. So it's the same thing. And if there's an emotional scene one day and a very light scene or lighthearted scene the other day, as long as I'm dead to the world in between, then it's a fresh new moment.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, I mean, there could be large amounts of time essentially between scenes, especially with your shows, because you are filming in Chicago. I mean, there's the sets, right? Where you film, like if you're in studio one day, but let's say you're out in one of the neighboring areas in Chicago, you've got neighborhoods blocked off, you've got people watching you film because shyhards, as they're called, are very intense fans. I don't know how culturally aware you are of how intense your fans are. In fact, I
Yeah.
got roasted by my own viewers because I allegedly mispronounced your middle name the last time. That's how intense your fans are.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, they're like, it's not that, it's this. But I digress. So,
That's,
so to be able to stay in that space as a storyteller and
mhm.
not necessarily, be playing Candy Crush or, goofing around necessarily. Not that any of that's bad, but to be able just to maintain the solitude is important,
Yeah.
especially, being able to shift back and forth. Well, it's
Yeah.
been fun watching your character grow. Last time we spoke, you were fairly new to the show, and now you've been in the unit for a couple seasons. You essentially have a similar storyline to Ruzik, where you're handpicked out of the academy and you kind of come in. At first, people think you might be dirty, but then they realize you're not, but you are connected to your character has certain connections to his past that he's still a part of. So, how do you feel your character has established himself in the unit now as far as trust with some of the heavy hitters like, Voight and Patty and Marina, all those guys? Like, has he earned his place now as the question?
I think so. I think so. I think they have found that there's a lot of value to him. There's things that only he can do.
Yeah.
Like they also have their things that only them they can do. Um, when it comes to these worlds, he's the man for the job, you know, when it comes to these types of streets and stuff. He's like a chameleon in some way, and he can really like um make people trust him, you know, and get things out of people and transform really because of who he is and the way he grew up. It's not even something of him special. It's just that his circumstances make him that way. So I think he has earned that. And even though he keeps making mistakes and sometimes is more impulsive than he should, or break some rules that he shouldn't, I think Voight understands the value of him and intelligence.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's television, so although you do have producers and technicians that inform you, and everything is very realistic as far as what you do from driving to gear to tack to tech. I mean, all of that. But yeah, I mean, you watch this with a suspended reality, but also at the same time, I mean, I've been invested in this show. What are you guys on, season 11, season 12 now?
Yeah.
uh I don't even know. I mean, I've been talking to your cast since the beginning, so I've kind of lost track. But
Yeah.
I'm deep undercover with this show, and I'm glad to have you back. You have some scenes in this episode tonight. Again, this will serve as no spoilers, but a bit of a post mortem type of thing with
Mhm.
Yara Martinez, who plays Gloria, which is always fun when you get to work with these people. Let's talk about that relationship a little bit. You mentioned there's some impulses that Torres has and some tendencies maybe to, because he's so grounded in this world, but yet can get the things that he wants and needs. Do you ever feel like your character not necessarily crosses lines, but gives himself license to sort of kind of, I don't know how to describe it. He's a very charismatic character. Uh, so how do you work through all of that? Also knowing that, he does have rules to follow. And in this most recent couple episodes, they're really starting to crack down on how you guys do business. So it's a broad question, but I guess, is Torres able to adapt to these new rules that are coming to the department, given its sort of sorted past with the way things have happened?
Right. I think that that's going to be a struggle for him. I think that's always going to be a struggle for him, is to be able to adapt and live by rules. You know, he doesn't really know that way, and I think his skill set and everything that comes with who he is, the value of it, you can see it when he's outside the box. If you keep Torres in a cage or with too many rules, he won't be that valuable. It's that part of him that allows him to be very valuable to the team. So I think that we're gonna see if that keeps being a part of that storyline, and the way they try to like you know you know keep them within these rules. I think there's always gonna be a a rejection there, or like a challenge.
I love it. Well, it's been a pleasure as always, Benjamin. Congratulations coming
Thank
back
you.
to work. We'll see you on the next one. I appreciate your time as always. Thank you so
Thank you,
much, my
Brett.
friend.
Thank you.